Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new tier list video. And hello, I have a face camera now. Very excited for this new setup. Got a brand new microphone too, so hopefully the audio sounds a little bit better and such. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for this one. This is going to be the same format as the catcher tier list video, where it's going to be all in alphabetical order. We're going to be doing all the starting first basemen in Major League Baseball from every team. We're going to be doing the first 8 in this one, and then we'll be doing 11 in each of the other ones, just so that the video time for each of the videos is going to be approximately the same amount of time. And with the intro in the first video, that'll cause a little bit of extra time for the video, so that's why this one only has 8 players. But please come and check out parts 2 and 3 after this one, so that you can get the full experience of the entire tier list. So we're going to be rating all the players on the S to F scale in this one. S being elite, A being great, B being good, C is average, D is below average, and F is terrible. We will be rating the players based mostly off of their 2022 season, but we will also incorporate the whole career when considering how good the player has been and where we put them on the tier list. We'll also be factoring all parts of their play into this, so that includes offense, defense, speed, etc. Usually, we will not incorporate off the field effects when doing the ratings. So that should be everything, and now we can hop right into the tier list and start with the Chicago White Sox first baseman, Jose Abreu, the man with the beard bun. So, how good is Abreu? Abreu's pretty dang good. He's been one of the most consistent, if not literally the most consistent players in all of Major League Baseball. You know exactly what you're getting out of him from season to season, and that is really great play. He's going to hit very well. He's going to defend pretty well. He does everything. He's a leader in the clubhouse for the White Sox. This guy is the total package. From the moment he arrived in Chicago all the way up till today, he's been the exact same player, and it's been very, very good. Now, coming into my research for this video, I was anticipating putting him in an A tier. I just kind of had in my mind that, yeah, this guy's probably an A tier player. But I didn't realize just how good he has been. He kind of flies under the radar because he's been so consistent. It's usually the guys that spring into stardom that really stick out in your mind as being the elite players in the league. But Abreu has every reason to be in S tier. He has been great for a really long time, and he just kind of flies under the radar because, like I said, he's so consistent that people don't even realize how great he is. There's a reason why Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is as popular as he is because he exploded into stardom after being mediocre at the beginning of his career. But we'll get more into Vladdy in part 2 of the first baseman tier list. But anyway, yeah, and he's actually combining really good defense with his great offense now. He didn't used to be a good defender, but he is now. So that's always exciting. He deserves to be an S tier. I can't believe I thought that he was anything lower than that. He's an S tier guy. Next, we have the Miami Marlins first baseman, Jesus Aguilar. So Aguilar's kind of jumped around from team to team throughout his career so far. Spent some time with the Cleveland Indians. He was on the Brewers. He was on the Tampa Bay Rays for a little bit. Might even be missing some teams in there. But he settled in with the Marlins over the last few years as their starter. He's been pretty good, but nothing to really go crazy about. And this year in particular, he's not having a great season at the plate. He's also never been a phenomenal fielder. He's average at best, but even then, not really most of the time. And additionally, I also want to add that he kind of splits time almost evenly at DH. Him and Garrett Cooper basically switch off between first base and DH every single day. So that's another thing to consider. It doesn't really affect his ranking too much, but with the kind of sporadic play that he's had throughout his career and the fact that he's playing below average this year, I'm going to put him in D tier. Maybe at other points in his career, I could have put him in C or B. Particularly, what was it, like 2017 when he was an All-Star with the Brewers? He was 2018, but he's had an all-right career, but he's not anyone to get super excited about, in my opinion. He's D tier. Next, we have Pete Alonso, Polar Bear Pete. Polar Bear Pete, if this was a tier list on the likelihood of winning the home run derby, yeah, he's in S tier and he's by himself. But this is unfortunately just first baseman. Not to say that Pete Alonso definitely doesn't deserve consideration for S tier, because he does. He is a great player. He definitely, you can consider him for the S tier. I'm not going to put him there, though. I'm going to put him in A tier. Excuse me. A tier. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. He deserves to be in A tier. And, let that go away. Thank you. He deserves to be in A tier, but I don't believe S tier because of rather poor defensive play up to this point in his career. He's also, this is only his like 4th major league season, so the guys we have in S tier have a little bit longer of a track record. And although his rookie season was phenomenal, he hasn't quite reached that level yet since his rookie year. His rookie year is phenomenal, but since then he hasn't quite got back up to that point again, reached that potential that we saw early on. So for now, I'm going to put him in A. He definitely has potential, like even by the end of this year, to end up in S tier. For right now, though, he's in A tier. So next we have Luis Ariz from the Minnesota Twins, and he's been one of the most surprising players this year. This is really his first full major league season. He's had some partial seasons because of injuries and such. And this is also his first year ever playing first base, believe it or not. He's mostly been second base, third base, and outfield throughout his career. He made the move to first base this year with the injury to Miguel Sano, however. And he's taken it and run with it. He's been so good. Like I said, mostly been a mediocre player. I should say mediocre. He's been like slightly above average and moved around from different positions throughout his career. But this year he settled in as the first baseman, and after Miguel Sano's injury, he's been incredible. He's been one of the best hitters in the league. He leads the league in batting average and on base percentage, at least in the American League. And I'm going to be putting him in A tier. I mean, the positional versatility is really nice. Additionally, he plays a really good first base. I mean, all the other position he plays, he's not a really good defender. But at first base, he plays very well as a defender. So I'm going to put him up here. Maybe that's a bit of an over-exaggeration, but he's always had elite contact rates. So there's no reason for me to believe that he can't continue to be a really great player. And like I said, too, he's playing good defense at first base. I have no reason to take him out of the A tier. I think this is a really appropriate spot for Luis Ariz. Let's move on to Washington Nationals first baseman Josh Bell. So Bell, early on in his career, was a highly touted prospect for the Pirates. Had some up and down years, but he had an all-star year there in, I believe, 2019. Maybe it was 2018, something like that. And then in 2020, he had a pretty bad year, and they traded him to the Nationals. And since going to the Nationals, he's been silently one of the most consistently great players in Major League Baseball while completely flying under the radar. People do not realize how good Josh Bell has been over the last 2 seasons. And whoever the Nationals trade him to at the trade deadline, they are going to get a really good player. Additionally, he also plays a little bit of corner outfield, not much, but he can go out there and play the corner outfield at time, which is valuable. And at first base, he's actually turned into a really good defensive first baseman. Was never really good at first in the Pirates, but since going to the Nationals, I guess they taught him how to be a good first baseman or something, and he's just been a really good defender there. Put everything together, and honestly, I think he also deserves to be an A tier up with Alonso and Ariz. He has been that successful when you combine his entire game. Hitting, defense, he's got the versatility, he's a switch hitter, which is really nice. This guy is a really good player, and not many people know about it. He's a top 10 first baseman without a doubt for me. So he's definitely an A tier here. Next we have Seth Brown of the Oakland A's. Seth Brown, he's had 1 full major league season under his belt, and that was in 2021, and he was actually primarily a right fielder. Seth Brown plays all 3 outfield positions, and he actually plays all of them very well. He's a good outfielder. but he's been mostly playing first base this year for the A's. He does okay at first base defensively, definitely a better outfielder, but the positional versatility is nice, and that's always something to consider. And in terms of his hitting abilities, he's been relatively average both this season and all of last season. You put that all together, you can't really put him in good tier yet. Like I said, the hitting has been right about average, and the defense, while good in the outfield, is only average at first base. So I'm going to put him here. There's maybe potential for B tier, but right now, unless if his offense really improves, there's probably not much potential for him to move up. It's probably more likely that he'll move down the tier list, with all due respect for Seth Brown, but that's just kind of the likelihood. But I have no reason to put him in below average just yet. All right, next we have Michael Chavis of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Chavis began the year as kind of a backup infielder for the Pirates. Because of the injury to Yoshi Tsutsugo, Chavis has actually been playing more first base than Tsutsugo has this year, so Chavis is going to be the one here on the list for the Pirates. Chavis is really unique. He plays first base, second base, and third base, and while he isn't a great defender at second or third, he does do pretty solid at first base defensively. Additionally, he's probably like the fastest first baseman in the league. He has pretty elite speed for the most part. And that isn't just considering first baseman. That's like across the whole league. He's very fast. But his hitting, this year it's been okay. In the past, though, not been great. He was cut from the Red Sox after about 3 seasons of mediocrity, and the Pirates ended up being the ones who picked him up. I don't dislike Michael Chavis necessarily, but this year with the average hitting and the average defense, and then the lack of a really good track record previous to that in his career, he definitely doesn't deserve to be an F tier, but you can't put him up in C tier either just because of the poor track record previously. I'm going to put him in D tier, and we'll call it a day. We'll put him right there next to Jesus Aguilar. So the last person on the list here we have is Ji-Man Choi, and he will be the last one, or not the last one of the list, he's the last one of this video. We will be covering the other 22 players in the following videos. But let's talk about Ji-Man Choi. So Ji-Man Choi bounced around from team to team early in his career. He was with the Angels, he was with the Yankees, he was with the Brewers for a little bit. But he's really found a home in Tampa Bay over the last 4 or 5 seasons. But not really as a full-time starter. He has always been this platoon first baseman who only faces right-handed pitching. It's been a really great role for him. It's worked out for the Rays. He's played really well in that role, but he doesn't play every day. So does that really hurt his value? Well, prior to this season, he was like a slightly above average hitter, combined with about average defense, and then the fact that he didn't play every day. To begin this season, I probably would have put him in C tier. But this year, he's hitting really well. It's been a career year for Ji-Man Choi. Now, I still want to add that although it's been a career year, there is a little bit of a catch. I have written down here that 86% of his plate appearances have come against righties. That means only 14 have come against left-handed pitchers. They do not let him bat against lefties. If a lefty comes into the game, they're taking Ji-Man Choi out. They don't like him facing lefties. That's a little bit of a knock on Ji-Man Choi. But with the phenomenal hitting that he's had, I mean, this dude is borderline an all-star, if not an all-star this year. I mean, there's a lot of really good first basemen in the AL, so he might just miss it, but he's been really freaking good. I'm going to move him up to B tier. You know, he was, like I said, he would have been C tier prior to this season, but this year with how good he's been as a hitter, I have every reason to move him up. Like I said, the defense isn't amazing, but it's not terrible. And with how great the hitting is, I don't care that he only plays against righties. He definitely deserves to be in B tier. You can't put him up with Seth Brown, you know, like he's definitely a better player than Seth Brown. So I like him here in the B tier. So that will do it for part 1 of the first baseman tier list on my video. Like I mentioned before, say it again, there will be 2 more videos for the first baseman that we will cover. We will go over 11 players in each of those videos. And then after that, we will be starting on the second baseman. So please subscribe so that you can see all of my new uploads. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment telling me what I did wrong or what I did right. And thank you all very much for watching. I hope you like the face cam. It's a brand new setup, like I said. I'm pretty excited about it. Hope it works. Hopefully there's not any face cam and I'm just talking to myself and you guys can't see my face. Anyway, whatever. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.